who you hang out with does
right.
definitely influence, some of the activities that you do. But at the same time, it's not the sole reason.
This segment's going to be more around a psychological lens to what's been happening, right? So I guess you guys have talked about your experience with substance abuse. I guess, what are the myths in the South Asian community about substance abuse? So one of it could be something along the lines of, oh, he or she's hanging out with a particular group of people and that is why.
I remember when my dad first found out, and how we actually got dobbed in was one of my friends. He took some of our drugs, had a bad experience, went home, told his parents, and his parents was like, who's responsible? That's the first question they ask. Who's responsible? It wasn't, my son made this decision on his own. It was who's responsible. So he actually gave our name. His parents came to our, family, and they started talking about it. And I think it was that really strong idea that it's because of who you hang out with. And I just want to say there, because there is some truth to that. Who you hang out with does definitely influence, some of the activities that you do. But at the same time, it's not the sole reason. And I think the problem becomes when we point it to it being the sole reason, because then we take our eyes off the ideas that it could be something else. It could be because they're struggling with depression. They're struggling with low confidence. They're struggling with, not being able to just love themselves. And all of a sudden when they're on the drugs, they actually feel good. So I think it can be related to, friends, but I think realizing that it can be more than that can be really helpful too.
I think the overlying myth is that it's black and white, or that there's a simple linear path to the outcome of someone just taking drugs. As if this happened, then that happened, and then that happened. Oh, then they fell off. Then they fell off, and then they started taking drugs. Whilst the truth is, like you've just seen in mine and Kevin's story, like there's hundreds of factors with why Kevin entered the drug and partying scene. There's 100 completely different reasons why I did it, and we were raised in the exact same household with the exact same values, traditions, and everything like that.
Yeah.
So like why I did it and why I got involved and how I got tripped up into it and my relationship with it, very, very different to Kevin's. Although there's much overlap, it's very, very different. So I think the biggest myth is that it's just simple and that you can just pin it on one thing, or this group of people, or he shouldn't have done that, or he shouldn't have been out late, or it's so many different things. And if when you're going through that story, there's so many red flags. If you have the intention to actually look for those things, you'll see the red flags in your own life. But the society around you, especially mum and dad, they'll be able to see those red flags as well. But it's a matter of like piecing that all together, so they can actually find out what's actually happening on the inside of that person.